I've been to the deep end, trying not to freak out. I just wanna feel like I'm okay. Baby, I'm okay, hey, yeah. Baby, I'm okay, hey, yeah. Ooh, I've been to the dark side, sick of all the hard times. I just wanna feel like I'm okay. Baby, I'm okay, hey, yeah. Baby, I'm okay, hey, yeah.
Hey, how's it going? I'm Ben from Universal Audio, and today I'm joined by Greaves. Now, last time we were here, we talked about vocal chains for hip-hop, but today we're gonna zoom in even deeper on Auto-Tune. So Greaves, what's your experience with Auto-Tune?
I mean, especially being in hip-hop, it's kind of like it's baked in. For me, primarily in my workflow, it helps me translate the raw emotions and the ideas that I have in the moment of a writing session into that track, so that I'm not fully focused so much on oh, damn it, was that pitch perfect? Was that this and that? Because at the end of the day, look at me, I'm not a great singer. But it helps me translate that emotion and energy into the music, and taking some pressure out of the takes, I think is great. So.
Well, I mean, you said it too, like it's become the sound of modern pop, hip hop, even like nowadays rock and country. Like it is the sound that we all know and expect to hear from artists. Yeah,
I mean, you turn on the radio and like, I think the problem is when people hear auto-tune, right? Like they hear the word auto-tune, their brain immediately jump to the thing that they hear, and they don't think about pitch correction. And you know, pitch correction is the difference of, you know, like you can have the perfect take, right? The absolute perfect take. And do I really need to sacrifice it all because I went flat here? Can I use this tool and this assistance to make it the best take, you know? So
I mean, that's a really healthy way to approach it, right? Because that way it's not a crutch. It is actually a creative choice that you're making. And you know, I know for me, before I was using an Apollo, my first experience using pitch correction was, you know, in the studio with singers, and I'd be inside the session, and I'd pull it up, I'd add to the track, they put on the headphones, they start singing, they'd be like, something feels weird. What? When you
it's
add
echoey.
It's echoey. It's phasey. Who's this dude inside of my head? Tell me about that experience, man. Like recording and dealing with latency, especially around using pitch correction.
I mean, it kind of steered me away from it for a while, just because it was for a long time. It was just really hard. It was really hard to figure out how to sing into auto-tune. Like if you had it on, it was crazy, and like it kind of defeats the whole purpose of being there in the moment with the music and having this thing, right?
Yeah.
And then if you try to apply it afterwards, it fights against your natural way of wanting to record vocals in a way that, because it is a nuanced kind of instrument-y thing, right? You got to push yourself a little bit to hit it differently, or take away, or pronunciate a little differently for things to happen in it. So it was like a whole lot of guessing, you know? But now that you can just have it main channeled on the console, it does two things for me. It allows me to just blast through demos, right? Like I don't have to think about any of that. If this is what it sounds like and feels like, boom, I'm printing, like we sound good, I can copy it, put it into my DAW, I'm done thinking about it.
Yeah.
The other thing is I use an Apollo on stage.
Oh yeah.
So I now, when all these songs that I previously recorded and already done my time of like, you know, going back and re-recording things so that it sounds good in the auto-tune, I can go into those old sessions, I can copy those presets, I can put them right into here, I can automate it in my live set, and I'm now taking away the stress of like, do I feel good enough to hit this note today? Like, it's just, it's amazing.
Yeah. Well, and so that's what's cool about, you know, rocking this with an Apollo, right? Like you mentioned, you pull up the console software, and there's probably just one really, really key thing for people to know if this is like their first time using real-time effects with UAD, and that's these two buttons over here on the right. You got UAD record and UAD monitor. So they're kind of self-explanatory, but just in case, you know, someone's new here, UAD record, this allows you to capture and record into your DAW with all these effects committed to it. So we're getting the preamp, EQ, compression, and auto-tune, and it's all it's recorded in. This is very like old school workflow.
That's a ring on the finger.
Exactly. It says, I love you, I love how this sounds, stay with me forever.
Yep.
It works really good for some stuff. I do this all the time, especially, you know, with auto-tune, like for background vocals, right? Stuff where you're like, yeah, this is good. Like I'm hitting two notes, That's
Yeah,
all.
they're tucked in the mix. Yeah, I feel you. Same thing with instruments. Like, we're in, low male or whatever, but you can put it in instrument mode, and if you're doing like string pads or, like things that require like so many like fretless instruments and you're doing like 20 stacks if you're crazy.
Doing horns.
Horns, it's great for horns. Like things that you're like, let's just get this in the box and like, and it takes away, I mean, most of the time for me, I found that it sounds great. And it now makes my sessions go so much faster because I don't have to sit there and, do the,
Tweak
we
in.
all know the graph. We've
Sitting there,
sat
drawing
there.
lines, Yeah, so committing to it, that's one thing. It saves DSP because you've kind of committed to it so you don't have to do it again. But for like lead vocals, for stuff that like, if it's a performance you want to capture and you want to give yourself that flexibility later on.
You want to play the field, per se.
That's where UAD monitor comes in.
Yeah.
So now what's going to happen, I've got let me pull this over, the Neve 1073, this is in the unison slot. This is actually like a real special slot in the console software. So it's emulating this Neve 1073, it's doing the impedance matching, but this is baked in. So it's as if I was going through a real Neve preamp. But now my LA2A and the Auto-Tune, these are just gonna be what we're hearing while you're recording. And then as soon as we go to play back in Pro Tools, those aren't captured. It's now just the Neve sound is what's captured. And we're gonna copy and paste the settings over into our session after we're good to go.
Which for like beginners, I would suggest you do because you'll have the classic, you record it, it sounds one way, and then playback and you're like, what?
Wait, huh?
It's untuned, it's uncompressed, and you have this like moment where you're like, damn, I was really feeling myself.
Well, that's a good point, man, because it's really, and especially like if you're recording somebody else, if you brought them to your studio, right, you want to give them a good experience. You want them to walk away like, oh, this guy knows what he's doing. Like, my shit sounds really good when he works on it. So to do that, let's pull up the LA2A. Silver right here. And let's pull up Auto-Tune. So let's talk about this copy-paste workflow because it's so easy. In any of these plugins, all you do is come down to that little dot, copy settings, back over to Pro Tools, dot, paste.
Bam.
Auto-Tune, copy settings, Auto-Tune, paste settings. That's it. So now when we unrecord this track, you'll see those plugins become active, and it's going to sound exactly how it sounded while we were recording.
And there's probably going to be some people watching this being like, why am I doing the same thing twice? But like, this is just to allow you more creative freedom after the recording process, right? So like you have it the way that you guys agreed on, or that you agreed with yourself in my case, how you wanted it to sound, right? But we don't know how this song is going to pan out. Because like right now, you and I are straight up recording a demo. I wrote this in a hotel room like a week ago. I don't know how I want this to sound. Like I don't even have a verse for this song yet. Right? But this is the chorus. I want this to sound this way. But I don't know how the rest of the song is going to pan out. I don't know if these vocals are going to get bigger. Right now, we're just doing one take, right? We're not doubling it. We're not doing anything because I think it sounds good right now. But the song might sound different later as it grows. So we don't want to be baked into the tune and compression before the song becomes something else.
Yeah. So I think we're all set up here, man. We've got console dialed in. I've got your session pulled up here in Pro Tools. The one key thing, is when you go to record, make sure you have low latency monitoring on. And it's in a different spot in all the different DAWs, but in Pro Tools, what this does is it allows you to record the track, but we're not going to be listening through the Pro Tools mixer. You're going to be hearing your vocals coming out of console, and then as soon as we go back into Pro Tools and press play, it'll play back off that track.
Yeah, I also think when you said one key thing is the key thing.
Oh, that
You're going to want to know what key your song is in, or else you're going to sound crazy coming through this thing.
Right.
I think it's, that's a huge part to start with Auto-Tune is make sure your key is set correctly and corresponding with your song. It's a given, but I've ran into so many people in the studio where it's like not. Like they just set it to C chromatic.
Because the default is all keys are cool. this will work. Especially, for some singers, if they're already very, very locked in,
Ain't me.
You can leave it here.
That
but
ain't me.
I got the head start. I stole your settings earlier, so we're rocking G sharp, minor, and you'll see the keyboard goes away. It knows that scale. It's just locked into that scale. Two most important settings are the key and then the retune speed, right? So by default, I think this is set to like 50, and for most hip hop pop, like pushing that up into like the 10, 12 kind of area.
Yep, it starts catching a little harder.
If you want to go full T-Pain offset, like you go 0.
Yep.
You go crazy with it, and it's a sound, it's a vibe.
It's a very popular vibe.
It's very popular.
Seeing the auto-tune dimed out and the retune speed is like, I get sessions like that all the time.
All the time.
Yeah.
And so I think let's play with it. I want to show people, what a very gentle amount sounds like, what a slightly more aggressive, and then what that like full, just dimed sound is.
Yeah, let's do it.
With Realtime Advanced, they added in this thing called Flex Tune. And you kind of use a little bit of this, right? 'Cause, at default, it's at 0. But as you bring this up, what do you feel like that's doing for you?
To me, it feels like a dry wet of the retune speed, which is, counterproductive, right? If you're like, well, then just don't drive the retune speed. But it's different because if you drive the retune speed a little harder and then you bring up that flex tune, it's kind of like on a Pultec when you boost and then attenuate at the same time, and you just get this magic thing happening there. But although it doesn't make sense that you would boost and take away the same frequency at the same time, it does a thing.
Yep.
And that you'll just see. It does a thing.
It does a thing. It does a beautiful thing. And then there's a couple other controls, but we don't. Especially for hip hop, like we're not gonna mess with these. The humanize, it allows sustained notes to drift. So like this is more like a pop R&B. Again, if you're trying to make this just sound natural and not obvious pitch correction, that's where the humanize knob comes in. And same with like the natural vibrato, but you're not doing no vibrato today.
No, and even with these settings, like you can still maintain a really natural like take. And if it's feeling too much, then you just dial back that retune speed a little bit more. And I think, I never really find myself diving too much into the humanize all that much.
Yeah, me neither. Rad, man. Well, that's enough talking about Auto-Tune. Let's
be about it.
Let's be it.
All right, hotel demo, take 1. Shout out to Parents who helped me make this in a hotel room last week. Check 1. I've been to the deep end, trying not to freak out. I just wanna feel like I'm okay. Baby, I'm okay, hey, yeah. Baby, I'm okay, hey, yeah. Ooh, I've been to the dark side, sick of all the hard times. I just wanna feel like I'm okay. Baby, I'm okay, hey, yeah. Baby, I'm okay, hey, yeah. Hey! Yeah, it feels good.
That's what it sounds like.
And you can hear the auto-tune on that a little bit. Like, it's just not overbearing.
Exactly.
I mean, it sounds good. Print it. Let's go.
It's like-
Next tutorial.
Game over. Let's go. All right, but no, let's have some fun with it, man. Let's show people that with that like extreme retune speed, no flex tune.
Hey!
That's the one I'm looking for.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to sing it differently. Because I can't give myself the hey, 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 yeah. You can already hear it.
Let's see. Let's get it.
All right, full send. Full send on this. Can you say on these videos? Guess it's too late now. Yeah, I've been to the deep end, trying not to freak out. I just wanna feel like I'm okay. Baby, I'm okay, hey, yeah. Baby, I'm okay, hey, yeah. Ooh, I've been to the dark side, sick of all the hard times. I just wanna feel like I'm okay. Baby, I'm okay, hey, yeah. Baby, I'm okay, hey, yeah. Yeah.
It's good. I can feel myself changing the way that I'm singing. I'm leaning into it less. I'm taking away from it a little bit more in parts, and then you just can't get the hey, 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 yeah. That's hard.
What's crazy is like, I mean, to me, I associate this sound like it's got like that watery, just like, it's like things are moving around on you, and like I heard you have to like adjust your performance to now like almost it made you like a little bit more cautious, I think, in some ways, right? Like
Yeah, because I'm thinking about the way it's reacting while I'm doing it, right? Opposed to having the natural nuance of a voice or something like that, and then just getting a little help.
Yep.
I'm now thinking about how do I maintain that performance into this effect?
Yep.
Which is something that just me personally as an artist, I'm not completely used to, but I've worked with artists that just, this is comfortable for them. They wrote it in their brain this way.
Yep.
And this is where this comes in completely handy because you can hear it now. You don't have to pretend in your brain what it's gonna sound like or hear yourself in like an echo chamber. So
This is fun.
All right, let's go the opposite direction. I'm gonna loosen it up on you a little bit. We're gonna go slow on the retune. We're gonna bring that flex tune back up. And actually, we're gonna try a little humanize as well. Let's see what this feels like.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 hey.
And I don't know if you know this, man. There's this little trick in console where when you like play, record all the transport stuff for like Logic, Pro Tools, etc., you can be in console, trigger Pro Tools.
And it still works, folks.
Right?
You know, I noticed that, but I didn't know that was intentional.
Uh-huh.
Wow. You learn something new every day. Yeah, I've been to the deep end, trying not to freak out. I just wanna feel like I'm okay. Baby, I'm okay, hey, yeah. Baby, I'm okay, hey, yeah. Ooh, I've been to the dark side, sick of all the hard times. I just wanna feel like I'm okay. Baby, I'm okay, hey, yeah. Baby, I'm okay, hey, yeah. Hey!
to me, that feels really good.
That sounds like you now.
Yeah, I really like that. And maybe it's like adding some fatness to it because there is like the Auto-Tune's got a little beef to it.
It's got a little sound.
Yeah, it's giving a little beef to it. It's pushing me up a little bit. It's helping me stay confident.
Mm-hmm. And it's cool too.
That shit sounds nice.
I mean, like looking at the meter as you were singing it too. Like it's just doing little pushes, little pulls, just a little something here. You know what? And just for fun, let's try one with like no auto-tune.
Yes.
Let's see what this feels like.
Raw dog take. Number one, baby. Number one raw dog. Let's go. Yeah, check. Ooh, I've been to the deep end, trying not to freak out. I just wanna feel like I'm okay. Baby, I'm okay, hey, yeah. Baby, I'm okay, hey, yeah. Ooh, I've been to the dark side, sick of all the hard times. I just wanna feel like I'm okay. Baby, I'm okay, hey, yeah. Baby, I'm okay, hey, yeah.
Also sounds good.
It's like,
I don't know what to say.
homie, you don't need any.
Auto-tune my confidence, please. Shit.
Just put that in key. Nice. That sounded really good, man. Man, it's so cool to like hear the difference in your performance based on tweaking auto-tune. Like that's kind of crazy to me.
Yeah, I mean, there is like a confidence effect, right? Like when it's not on, maybe I'm thinking a little bit more about trying to get the notes. It's not a wildly complex line, but I still want it to sound the way that it sounds in my head, right? When it comes out of my mouth. And then when it's all the way on, I'm thinking, whoa, like this is not what I wanted. So there is like a special threshold that you can set with it that brings a confidence to a take, that even when you take it off, that confidence still exists. And that's an emotional relationship with the recording, right? And that's solid, and that can't be replicated. There's not a plugin for that, right? No. There's like that emotional transcription is like what you're looking for. So if there's tools to help you feel more confident, that's perfect.
Man, what's been so crazy for me to see too is like, I remember when I first started recording, like auto-tune was like one of those things that the engineer kind of tried to hide from the artist. You're like, we're just gonna, we're gonna do some stuff to your vocals, come back like a half hour, it'll be all perfect. But now, like more and more artists like yourself, you know your settings. You know what settings in auto-tune gel with the music that you're trying to create. And sometimes it's, dimed on the retune speed. It's and that's the effect. That's the sound that they want. Sometimes it's real natural, real kind of invisible.
Yeah.
But the overall point is like these days, man, almost every genre of music has pitch correction. Like this is the sound that listeners absolutely expect to hear. Of course, you can make a creative decision to say, nah, no tuning, no nothing. That's the vibe. But what, 90% of the records I'd say these days are like have pitch correction as part of that sound.
I've seen singer-songwriters with like the little auto-tune boxes on stage and stuff. Like it is very much a thing. It doesn't have to sound all and it is to the point where, you know, listeners and fans, whether or not they know it, they've been conditioned to hear a vocal or even instruments in a certain pitch perfectness that when they don't hear it, they might not know what's wrong, but it might be, oh, this sounds amateur to me. So this is something that, you know, levels you up. It makes you sound more pro. It makes you sound like what inspired you to write that song. You know, like if you were listening to somebody on the radio or on Spotify or wherever you listen to music, and you're like, oh, that makes me want to do something like this. And you go there and you record it and it's just sounding flat and busted. This could be a huge difference of why or why not your songs are sounding like that.
Yeah, and that's been what's so cool is like to see people discover their sound through, you know, and not just auto-tune, right? Even the compression, EQ stuff. Like nowadays, you know, when I work with artists, like I notice they all come in, they kind of know what they like. They know what, you know, it used to be maybe they knew a microphone model or two, but now like now they know like, oh, you know, just give me a little 10K, like put the auto-tune on 50, like they know all their settings. They come in dialed in, ready to go. And as an engineer, you're like, cool, that's a huge head start to be able to say like, all right, let's start there. And like, yeah, shit, man, you got it. Let's just focus on what matters, which is the performance. It's getting a take that like means something and connects to you emotionally as an artist, as an engineer, most importantly, as a listener.
And having this stuff accessible as an artist is something that can help you or anyone, you know, truly craft their sound. Learning these things, playing with these things during your creative process is what helps you kind of dive into and maybe in the long run create new things, right? Like, so this is great, man. It's so great that this is all like at a fingertip now, opposed to like having to rent a room with the one dude in town that knows how to use the stuff. And like, it's so much cooler now, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Shout outs to the one dude in town, though. You're awesome, Gary.
You're that one guy. Kudos, man. Well, Greaves, man, it's always so good to have you around, man. It's great to hang, do some music with you, geek out about technology and recording. It's always a lot of fun. So I appreciate you coming through and demonstrating for the people how Auto-Tune can get to work.
Thanks for having me, dog.
Appreciate it. And thank you guys for watching. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the Universal Audio YouTube channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Yeah, I've been to the deep end, trying not to freak out. I just wanna feel like I'm okay.